Welcome back, Capsuleers. Let us now take a look at the past, present, and future in this year's EVE Keynote. Put your hands together for CCP Helmar, the CEO of CCP Games.
Welcome to Fanfest 2025! And welcome to Iceland. Often we have to celebrate how you're helping us winning against the sheep, but it's a sad occasion. They've been declining. But obviously a number of EVE characters trumps both of them. And welcome to Fanfest. I can't believe it's been 18 months. It seems both longer and shorter. We were, of course, in 2023 in Laugardalshöll celebrating the first 20 years of EVEOnline, which have now been memorialized with a 2-story monument. We're making plans for the third. Because we are now 2 years into the third decade. Amazing. Amazing. And we're back here in Harpa. How do we like Harpa? That's another very weird time warp. I was counting it up. We were here actually celebrating 15 years of EVEOnline in 2018. 7 years ago. Man, time flies. It both seems yesterday being here on stage and again, like an eternity ago. Because again, 15 years last time here in Harpa celebrating, now 2 years into the third decade. Amazing. So obviously what you have been experiencing and you will be experiencing here is a work of 400 people at CCP all over the earth that have been prepping a lot of stuff that is here on display, hands-on, all that. Please give that amazing group of people a good applause. And it is always good to remember that not everyone at CCP is like me. I've gone to every Fanfest, and some of you have done as well. But 23% of CCP employees have never been to Fanfest, and a staggering 73% of CCP employees have never been at Fanfest in Harpa. Think about that. So join me in observing their youthful enthusiasm as they wander the halls of Harpa here for the first time. It's an amazing experience. And of course, speaking about things for the first time in Harpa, all of these games, except EVEOnline, have never been here before, and there has been a lot going on across the kind of portfolio. And of course, starting with the dearest EVEOnline, the little spaceship game that could, from meager beginnings. I'm now celebrating my 15th year of standing here on stage talking about EVEOnline. Here we are in Lofkastaling in October 2004. And of course, today we're going to be talking about expansions. This is no longer my job, obviously, talking about them or making them. But I've seen what is in store, and it is something to behold. I just love this picture of corporation projects. I hear you, I hear you, I hear you. Yeah, yes, this is my own power fantasy of my job. So there's like a project here called X, as you said. But EVE is so much more than a game. Of course, what we introduced to the software of EVEOnline is a part of it, but there are so many other things that are going on. We have third-party developers, we have events, we have books, we have beverages, partners, merchandise, and art. It's such a wonderful ecosystem. And there was this beautiful moment that made it all come together for me last year, where Katja, Sai, and Kripa came together These are some of the greatest people in the EVEOnline history. They both have obviously monuments inside the game, and seeing them coming together like this is really what drives it home what EVE is all about. EVE genuinely is the game where the best ship is a friendship. And I have to say, it's a bit surprising. We were very much going for this. It's like total hell, death, murder, death, destruction. We were like kind of angry teenagers. It was going to be complicated and hard, and it was going to be all that. And it turned out to be all about love. Who would have thought? Here I stand in front of you, and I love you all. But if there's something we more also love, it's numbers, and especially when we have the highest numbers. So EVE has achieved 3 Guinness World Records. One of them was actually beating our own record. So technically we have 2 active ones. We're currently talking to Guinness Book of World Record, explaining to them the awesomeness of the great move. So hopefully when we're here in Harpa again, we'll be celebrating yet another new record. And of course, all these records belong to you. We just built the playground, make sure it's kind of holding together while you achieve these amazing things. And of course, now we have history books, very honest documentaries about the journey so far. It truly has been epic. It's not always been pretty. Here's an example of a feedback session. We operate a lot on feedback here. I think Omelka Gold is explaining something terribly complicated about EVEOnline, and I'm squirming there in the chair. But we love it. And Fanfest is very much about this. It's about like all the amazing feedback. We had a great session with the Council of Stellar Management 19 earlier this year. I frankly have never seen as much value be generated in one room as everyone came together to talk about EVE, follow with quick feedback, strategizing for the future. It really is amazing to see how much we have grown on this front. And if I do count all of the minutes and hours and years that people have played EVEOnline, and I add them all up, and I take kind of theories about how the pyramids were built, we would have enough to build 11 of them. And of course, nobody really knows how these pyramids were built. And I, even though I've been here all along, I really don't know how we have achieved this. It is such a marvel that EVEOnline exists and is growing and thriving on what is next week, year 22. It truly is astonishing. It truly makes me like confident in saying these crazy things. EVE forever. And speaking of forever, we are very stubborn, and boots on the ground will be there, even if it's taking forever. Here we are doing something very interesting. We're in a way turning New E10 into a gaming platform. So the general idea is that we will have 2 games which kind of share a world, an economy, social network, war narratives, etc. It's something truly phenomenal. Obviously, this is not our first try. Here are many tries. Observe the many tries. And now it's going to get done. But we are, of course, going to take our time. It's playable here. You can absolutely observe it. You can see what we're kind of learning from all the journey. There are going to be keynotes dedicated to that. But we want you definitely to join us on this journey. Rise up and go to Steam and press the wishlist button. We now live in a world where everything is controlled by distribution and discovery algorithms, and it really does help if you press the wishlist button. And it helps so much. We made a campaign. So, so all of you here, and especially people on the stream, go to Steam and press wishlist on Vanguard. And of course, those of you who are here, you have been playing, and you can play it over here in Silverberg, so it's playable. Scott will come later and talk more about that. And for everyone on the stream and everyone around the world, we will have a big event on the 16th of September called Nemesis. So join us for that if you're not here to go and play right here today. Then over to eFrontier. So eFrontier is making kind of a Fanfest debut. We talked about it a bit on stage last year as Project Awakening, but now like Pinocchio has turned into a real boy and gets to go to Fanfest. It's called eFrontier. It is a massively moddable multiplayer online space survival horror role-playing game, or a Smorburger. It is the genre you never knew you needed. Here we are kind of taking a lesson from our own book. This idea of building societies and giving the tools and the rules to operate it. I am now at the stage in my life where I love quoting myself. This is something I am here sleep deprived in front of the CCP aquarium, probably February 2003, in the middle of the night. Other games focus on having people go up against monsters, maybe in small groups, whereas EVE is focused on building a society and supplying the tools and the rules to operate it. We're now going to take this to the max, where we're going to almost build a platform to build a game. We've been running kind of hackathons to prove out this kind of grand thesis. I was actually yesterday judging some of the entries, and it's kind of staggering what people have been building. We're our third hackathon, and we're kind of building the game in runtime. And we built this whole kind of platform, very much inspired by the third-party development ecosystem in EVE. You should definitely go and experience that at Fanfest. We are here going for this idea of it's going to be an open economy, open infrastructure, and all literally built by players. Of course, we will do our job in getting it sort of the base work down, but then the rest will emerge. I encourage everyone to join. Here's another QR code for you to go and click. Founder access is live. There's more to come. We're going to be talking more about the game at IGN Live, PC Gaming Show, and Future Game Show this summer, where we release more detail. But you can find the eFrontier team in Silverberg. Here's what they look like. They're all wearing these cool metal shirts, kind of easy to spot. All of this, obviously, is powered by Carbon, where we, at the same time, are taking open source. And we have made some progress on that. We have gone from 0 components of Carbon being open source to 2. We now have a spatial audio clustering and scheduler, which have been already made open source. And we will continue to move this out as time progresses. So by next Fanfest, you will have seen a lot more come here. And this idea about open sourcing all of the game development framework is in line with this idea of we are building a society and supplying the tools and the rules to operate it. And this, long-term, will benefit EVEOnline. EVEOnline is also powered by Carbon, all our internet spaceships, which are very serious business, especially EVEOnline. But Frontier allows us a unique opportunity where the business there is slightly less serious, so we can push more aggressively. And you will see a lot of this kind of roll over to EVE under this banner of EVE Evolved. We've just released the sort of GPU-centric rendering. There will be more and more of these components coming online. The biggest one will, of course, be the upgrade to Python 3, which is quite the thing. This is something we have been delaying for 15 years. And Python 2.7 is way out of expiry. But to give you a sense of the effort, this took about 2 years. It was modifying 1 million lines of C++, 4 million lines of Python. It was a massive endeavor. Anyone here who suffered through phase 4 of Frontier last year knows the instability and madness that was. Thank you all for clearing out the bugs. But this we could never do with EVEOnline. That's why we've been punting it for 15 years. Now that we can push on that front, we can prove it out, we're now laying down the plans of how we can move Python 3 over to EVEOnline. It's obviously a massive project, as you can see here. EVE is both a lot bigger than Frontier and has a lot more sort of delicate things to go and sort out. And most importantly, TQ is down for like 5 minutes per day. So you can just imagine like slotting in a Python 3 upgrade in a 5-minute time slot. It is like doing open heart surgery on a race car in a pit stop in the middle of a race. So this is one of the examples of the things we can do by pushing aggressively in this direction, proving that it's valuable, and then we can backport to EVEOnline. And I genuinely believe these kind of efforts will help us make EVE forever. Then I'm gonna call on stage CCP Orca to give us update on the publishing front.
Hello, everyone. It's absolutely incredible to be here with all of you today. The EVE community is something truly unique, and each and every one of you have helped shape New Eden in ways we could have never imagined. I am truly honored to stand here with all of you today. The EVE community is what makes this universe truly special, and today we want to celebrate some of the incredible contributions and milestones that make New Eden what it is. At CCP, we have a long-standing tradition. When an employee reaches 10 years of service, they are honored with a sword. A symbol of loyalty and commitment to the universe we are all building together. It's not just a plaque, not just a handshake, but an actual sword. Because surviving and thriving for 10 years deserves something truly epic. But it's not just CCP employees who deserve that recognition. Many of you here today have also stood the test of time in the brutal, beautiful chaos of New Eden for over a decade. So, we are honoring the long-standing player organizations in EVE, alliances that have lasted 10 years or more. So we tracked down your stories and created something celebrating your journey. And tomorrow, during the closing ceremony, we will have a sword ceremony for those alliances, carrying forward a tradition that now belongs to all of us. I also want to highlight the incredible artistic talent within the EVE community. Throughout the years, we've seen amazing amount of player-made art, models and creative work centered around the EVE universe. That artistic talent can now be seen in all the amazing art pieces we have at the charity silent auction. And for those here in Harpa, I recommend you go check it out on the Trade Hub and do some bids. The EVE History Wall has returned to Harpa, bigger, better than before, and with even more legendary moments. It's a celebration of the moments that have shaped New Eden, player-driven events, epic battles, and daring betrayals. A monumental achievement that have become a part of EVE's living history. But it isn't just a static timeline, it's a living record, and we will continue to document and preserve the evolving history of EVE, adding new chapters as all of you create them. Through the decades, EVEOnline has thrived because of you. Your rivalries, alliances, betrayals, and victories. And this past year, we saw some legendary moments unfold. The Great Migration and the Great Alliance Reset at the start of the year. And we at CCP watched closely by as a huge amount of faction titans were killed through a dread bomb in the Royal Flush. And some amazing fights over the Metanox moon drill. Since the launch of Founder Access, EVE Vanguard players have charged headfirst into brutal war zones. The battlefield is alive and it's evolving fast, and the Vanguard community is building it one deployment at a time. And recently at EVE London, we saw EVEOnline players and Vanguard players side by side celebrating New Eden from orbit to boots on the ground. Vanguard players met the dev team and played exclusive builds, joining creators and community leaders in shaping what's coming next. The Vanguard Founders Program is a seat at the table. Founders get exclusive ongoing access to monthly closed playtest and direct access to developers' time, a real say in development. Not just updates, but influence. So if you want to join the Discord server. The EVE universe now spans far beyond PC. With EVE Echoes, we brought New Eden to your pocket, letting millions explore space and build empires on the go. And with EVE Galaxy Conquest, we are expanding that reach even further, delivering strategic warfare, territory control, and epic battles to a generation of mobile commanders. And since its global launch, EVE Galaxy Conquest has been installed over 680,000 times, and players have clashed in an astonishing 78 million battles across the stars. Billions of loyalty points, military exploit, and conquest credits have been earned, spent, and fought over. And players form alliances and claim territory in the true spirit of EVE. Season 4 of EVE Galaxy Conquest kicks off end of May and is the biggest evolution yet. Faster paced progression, new core buildings, expanded commands, and greater fleet capacity, all designed to unlock deeper strategy and deliver the most intensive PvP experience on mobile. So now is a perfect time to join. All right. The EVE Partnership Program exists to empower and reward the most dedicated EVE content creators and third-party developers by providing meaningful support, incentives, and opportunities for growth. Ever since the start in 2020, we have now more than 200 creators in 8 different languages. And through partnerships with VHype and Just, we're building sustainable ways for streamers, video creators, and artists to earn from their passion. And these platforms help us support creators financially through campaigns, recognize and amplify your work across the EVE community, and most importantly, share in the success of the universe we are all shaping. And here we have 3 well-known streamers and YouTubers from the program joining CCP developers for a world-class broadcast. Content creators Pando, Loro, Amiomia are here on site in Reykjavik, making sure you all get the latest scoop on what's happening at Fanfest with interviews, good vibes, and some general banter. And shout out to Amiomia, who has been here for a week, traveling the country, playing EVE in all kind of different locations in all kind of weathers. Competitive play has always been at the heart of EVE. And we know that some of the best moments in New Eden come from a high-stake, high-skilled battle. We all love a good fight, and there's no greater test of skill than the Alliance Tournament. And as you saw in the opening ceremony, the Alliance Tournament trophy is a true monument to the legacy of New Eden's greatest champions. It features a figurine taken directly from the statue of the in-game Alliance Tournament monument located in the Monarch system, and its figure takes inspiration from the iconic Keepstar Citadel, symbolizing strength and endurance. Surrounding it, engraved in stainless steel plates, carries the name of every alliance that have claimed victory ever since the very first one in 2005. And we will continue with future champions, also get their names added to the trophy over time, continuing its living history. The Alliance Tournament is a big deal, but it's not the only tournament. We all know a huge part of a healthy tournament scene comes from a variety of competition to compete in. The most recent Charity Cup is a great example, and we want to be able to do more. So we are expanding tournament opportunities to you, the players. We're updating and modernizing our tournament toolset with a goal of bringing you bigger, better, and most importantly, more tournaments. The tools will allow for independence and versatility of tournament organizers, so you can experiment with rule sets and formats matching your creativity. We're not finished yet, but we'll have more information on this soon. And another code for a Discord link. So if you're looking to host a tournament, share some wild theory crafting, head over to the tournament channel on our Discord server and take part in the conversation. EVE War for New Eden. The EVE board game will be shipped end of June. Have some of you checked it out here? Yeah? Looks amazing. Looks really, really good. And we're not known for going the easy route, and the factory manufacturing the game said this has been the most difficult game they've ever manufactured. And here at Fanfest, we're hosting the very first official board game tournament. So go check that out. And I'm happy to announce that we have, in partnership with Titan Force, a new, more casual, EVE-inspired game in the works. It's a cooperative game where players build and manage fleets to battle pirates and other threats. It features dice-based mechanics with a variety of dice types and plays like a deck builder, only instead of building decks, you build and upgrade your fleet. And anyone likes the sound of New Eden? So we are bringing the amazing music of EVE to vinyl. It will be a double vinyl, a mix of classic tracks and new composition in partnership with Laced Records. So a piece of the EVE universe in a physical form. And I promised my brand director to say that this is not the actual artwork or the name. So bear with us. We're exploring some concept, and we'll have more to share with you soon. So everything we talked about so far, the battle, the alliances, the generosity, the creativity, it all speaks to something deeper. EVE is more than just a series of events. It's a living culture. It's a mythology in the making. So that's why we're starting a new creative project called the Foundational Poem Book. Let's take a look.
Listen, thou shalt, to the tales of Eve, the coming of Titans, the birth of Steve, the mining of rocks, the clouds, the moons, the battles of brothers, badgers, and goons.
The Foundational Poem Book is inspired by the great mythic tradition of the Norse, the poetic Edda, Völuspá, and Hávamál. It will be a mythical telling of Eve legend, values, and history, a poetic reflection of our universe shaped by the players. It will capture the player-driven ethics, the unspoken and spoken rules that define life in New Eden. And it will define the chronicle legendary moments and folklore that feel larger in life because in EVE they are. Through this, we aim to honor the culture, philosophy, and stories that define the EVE community passed down through a myth. We invite all of you to share your tales, your codes, and your wisdom so they can live on in a verse. As the Eve Monument stands as the physical symbol of the world we've built together, the stories behind it also deserve to be captured in a way they can live on forever. So, this is Eve, a universe that we have built together, a community that defies expectation, a story that never ends. Thank you for being a part of this journey. I am looking forward to continue on this journey with you, and I'm super excited for what is about to come next. Enjoy Fanfest, and please join me with welcoming on stage CCP Burger and CCP Ratati.
Come on, Fanfest! Woo! Wow. Hello, everyone. Hello, Fanfest. Are you ready for some EVEOnline?
Okay, now.
Yes!
It's amazing to be back at Fanfest. I've never been at Harpa before. This is my first time in Eldborg, and it's crazy. Just seeing all this passion, all these friendly faces, both new and familiar. I met people yesterday doing their first Fanfest, and I was like, do we still have those? Or like, what's... We have a lot to talk about, but the most important thing is why we're here, and we've reiterated Eve forever. We're here to make Eve live forever, and it's not just jokes. It's about acting. 18 years ago, when I joined CCP, it felt unreal to start working at a company in Iceland that makes video games. That just incomprehensible. But soon enough, I realized it's not a game at all. It's a community. And to kind of paraphrase a conversation with a good friend, Asher, it's a cultural phenomenon. It's something that millions of people have been a part of over the decades. And Eve will continue to flourish and grow as long as we do our best to listen and improve while still following our hearts. Thank you all for being here and being a part of this amazing journey.
Well, yeah, so in Eve, nothing stays still. You're the ones moving this game forward, and we are here to make sure it never stops. Alliances change, strategies shift, new names make their mark, and old legends return to finish the job. Last time we met here in Reykjavik, 18 months ago, we talked a lot about capitals. And since then, you really fall in love with dreadnoughts. In that period, click, you've actually built 43,000 dreadnoughts. Ooh. And destroyed almost 10,000 of them, so good job.
You can do better.
I think you do better. Those 43,000 dreadnoughts, they have managed to deal 56.3 billion worth of damage. Decent number, but what is damage? They've actually, this 53 billion amount of damage is equal to 486 trillion and some change worth of destruction. So, great job, everyone. But wait, there is more. What's actually really interesting is there have also been a lot of dreadnoughts that have died. And that amounts to 83 trillion-ish worth of dreads have been destroyed. So our DTD, or damage trade deficit, is actually quite good. Can't complain about that.
Well, it seems that you've been real busy building, killing, and arguing about stuff. And even moving to warmer places. But as someone who's moved countries quite a lot of times, and someone who really hates moving, I have to give the planners of the Great Migration some props. We were able to capture some pictures for the eventual Guinness World Record press release. And even if you really don't like the Imperium, I think we can all agree that the effort and planning by their leadership deserves an applause. So stupid. But we've all seen this meme, and it's super funny, and we can laugh about it, but it's also painfully true. Far too many players give up on the way, lacking confidence, motivation, and purpose. And without new players, well, there is no EVE Forever. Solving this has been our highest priority for the last 3 years. And it's how we're doing it, not just another tutorial or updating career agent missions. It's a radically different approach that we believe is not just the only way, but the right way for EVEOnline. It means leaning completely into the strength of the community. You are what makes EVE EVE. Players are the lifeblood of this strange organism that's now over 20 years old and counting, and we just always need more. Like any network, it becomes exponentially more interesting and more powerful with higher player counts. And the center of the community is found in strong organizations. Any successful organism requires a powerful heart, the player-organized efforts of passion, fleets, corporations, and alliances pushing forward in all corners of space. But we also need something for the mind, new challenges, new weapons of war, a healthy body, evolved capabilities, and some good old-fashioned drama for the soul. We're here to unlock your potential. You are the champions we need. Our commitment is to improve the game from now on, not necessarily fix the new player experience. We want to add new experiences, opportunities for everyone, but no one does a better job of explaining EVE than you do. You mentor the new players better than we do. So instead of teaching ourselves, we develop tools for you and a safety net to keep the solo players treading water and building confidence. Same goes for the passive and lapsed players. I'm forgetting to click a lot of slides here. Oh, sorry. Passive lapsed players. We're doing the best we can, but we can't reach the lapsed veterans as you do. They're your friends and your family. So the message is clear. We have a bold vision and a long-term strategy to get there with all hands on deck. But just 3 years and 2 Fanfests ago, we announced that we were going back into expansion, and that was such a good decision to make. This is where we established these main themes that we've been working on since. Consistency for us is key. Since then, we've shipped 5 expansions, made a lot of progress, and more than a few mistakes. But we're committed to learning from them. PCU is up, session length is up, and sentiment is up, and the 6th expansion is just around the corner. But a common request from the community has not been only not to add new features, but to iterate and expand on existing ones, revisit older systems and update them. And we have taken that to heart with major updates. Mostly focused on balance, economy, meta, and quality of life, but also to try out smaller, interesting things. Our first major update was really in September last year, mostly to improve on fishing or abyssal rifts, evolving existing gameplay, deepening and extending experiences. And for the record, you can expect a 3rd major update in the fall of 2025, addressing community feedback and more. But we can't do these major updates without the CSM. The CSM 19 came to us in Reykjavik in February, bringing plans, ideas, and a true spirit of collaboration. Much of the content for the major updates came strictly from those meetings, discussions, and debates. A big topic has been force projection, and we are, since the summit, working on a joint roadmap, with the first steps being the Ansible exchanges. But we want a future with safe and predictable home networks, and we want healthy risk and reward when you're traveling longer distances. Fatigue, shipcasters, bridges, filaments, and even new types of structures will be a part of this new solution space and factored into the future. We're not going to pretend that we can solve this with a single action. We want to take solid steps forward, measuring and repeating again and again. And in many ways, we feel that we're out of the woods. We have been innovating heavily in the past, and with innovation comes struggles and a lack of momentum. But as we've progressed, our own confidence has gone up, and we're doing more with less time now. And we're starting to feel that we can share more, and you and the rest of the community will listen and understand where we're going, and that we're making plans, not necessarily promises. We want to talk more, we want to share more, and debate more, and earlier. It's always hard to talk about the future with the uncertainty of game development, especially as it is these days. But we feel that we have enough experience now with 5 coming 6 expansions under our belts, and be more open, more honest, and not afraid to share our vision. CCP Okami's first devlog was the forerunner, and there's way more to come this year. Give it up for CCP Okami, I think. That's a... He literally came to us and said, can I just write just straight from the heart what I'm thinking? And we're like, ooh. Oh, yeah, do it. We'll continue to monitor this game holistically. We're always looking at gameplay styles, resources, habitats, meta, to make sure that we don't leave anything out for too long. That there's always focus on creation and destruction, increasing social connections, friendship, and adding ways to contribute to the whole ecosystem of EVE through trade. Across all gameplay styles, habitats. But there are some, and this is the last major update. These were the goals. More resources, more miners in space, more workers in space. And we actually delivered on all of that. We've seen all of that happening since the major update. But there are some coming now markers, and maybe Bergur, you want to take us through a bit of what's going to come in this next expansion, or maybe what it's called?
Yeah, I thought he would never ask. He goes on forever. Jeez, I have like 3 seconds.
This is important stuff.
So, next EVEOnline expansion. Do you want to know what it's called? Yeah! All right. The next EVEOnline expansion is EVE Legion. Woo! And it's actually coming on the 27th of May, so 3 weeks' time. Woo! So this expansion strengthens the relationship between players and organizations, while also fostering the inherent culture of both. It also expands on Equinox Sov, allowing for more flexibility and choice for nullsec empires and new toys for destruction. Yes. We've been moving fast and taking on huge topics over the last few years. And even if we're opening up some very exciting cans of worms this time around, we wanted to dedicate some time on polishing up features from previous releases to really make them shine. Some of which you actually saw in the March major update, but you will also see in EVE Legion. But on the topic of addressing long-standing issues, here is a topic: the map. So we get asked about this every single Fanfest. Even in the lore panel today, you asked about the map. It's really getting to you. Currently, we support multiple maps in-game, and none of them really serve the purpose or the need that you all have. So we end up going to third-party applications outside the client to plan our next venture. We're actually going to fix this, but it's not going to happen overnight. But in EVE Legion, we're taking the first step. To start with, we're looking at base navigation. We know the map scares new players to a point where we actually don't show new players the map. And this sounds super odd. You're like 21,000 years in the future in this ultimate sci-fi experience, like living out your freelancer fantasy, but without a map. So for the initial pass, we're taking the knife to filters, favorites, and some of the base functionality, making it clearer and more accessible, and giving you more control to actually shape it to your needs. But going forward, we want to add more content to it. interesting places to visit, a way to read the story of your local system, all to make it a part of your daily EVE routine. Some pretty cool concepts here. Ooh. But I don't want to spoil too much. And we hear you. So for those of you that have no idea what's going on this slide, this is a 2D view of the universe. I know some of the media has not covered a lot of EVE, and they were very surprised when I told them that people would freak out when they would see this, but yeah, this is important. We will continue to work on the map in the coming expansions, but we would really appreciate your feedback and input. So check out the UI corner, aka UI Safe Space, downstairs. The map plays a major role in telling our shared story of the universe. Story that all of us continue to expand every day and set the stage for tomorrow's tales. We strive to give you more tools to write it, and for the last couple of years, you've been busy forging the legacy of your group with corporation projects. And now, to go deeper into all the goodies coming out in this expansion, please allow me to welcome onto the stage CCP Okami! Yep.
Hello, Fanfest! I don't know if you guys know this, but it's my first Fanfest. Yeah. It's been awesome meeting so many of you out there. But who wants to hear a little bit more about what's in the expansion? Yeah. Let's hear from my bearded brother, CCP Nomad, about freelance jobs.
To achieve anything meaningful in EVE, you need to cooperate with others. You know corporation projects that allow structured collaboration within corporations. The evolution of that concept are freelance jobs. Now, you will be able to complete tasks and challenges and get rewards from any corporation, allowing you to pick and choose your opportunities. If you are the CEO or a recruiter, you will use this tool to advertise your corporation and to select recruits. And if you are looking for a corp, the freelance jobs will allow you to collaborate with others and show off your performance. This will be a gateway to getting recruited into a corp, into an alliance, to be able to leave your mark in the universe and make new friends. All this can start with a single job.
Hell yeah! Freelance jobs are more than just a single feature. They are our pathway to fully player-generated experiences. Can you imagine a world where every mission is created by another player? Yeah. What about every expansion having a full set of jobs related to every major faction and empire, and completing them led to the unfolding of the mysteries of the universe? This is the paradigm that freelance is leading us down. But not only that, we have developed some new technology that we call the Goldsmith that empowers us to make more contribution methods better and faster than ever before, which means that we can focus more on the bread and butter, giving you guys more missions, epic arcs, and sites, things like that. But finally, in an update this summer, we'll also be releasing a robust set of ESI endpoints, meaning that you can create, manage, and scale your freelance jobs at an unprecedented level. And we love our Capsuleers' creativity and designs. Skinner and the Paragon Hub are here to stay. And we're always thinking of new ways to allow you to customize your ships, including things like lights, trails, signatures, and even corporation banners. And in an update beyond Legion, we are committed to getting you showing up to your battles in a unified outfit, more streamlined than ever before. Corporation branding, identity, and culture are a core theme of our development that you'll be seeing from here on out. Now let's take a look at what we're doing in EVE Legion.
In the Legion expansion, we're focusing on bringing your corporation branding one step closer to being the same inside EVE as it is outside of EVE.
The first step towards this is the introduction of the Corp palette. This is a new way for your brand managers to set an official colorway for their corporation and can be first seen on the freelance jobs that your corporation sets up.
We will be seeing more of the Corp palette and many more exciting features for your corporation in the future. One of this will be introducing it into Corp skins, automatically adopting the colors of the Corp palette.
In Legion, we're upgrading the corporation logo editor. We're saying goodbye to the pre-selected 18 colors and giving everyone a full-fledged color picker with full RGB and hex code support. So you can easily match your Corp's colors inside of the game with what you have set outside of the game.
Yes.
A color picker, finally. As CCP Helmer said earlier, EVEOnline ecosystem extends way further than the client. The ESI plays a major part in bridging the gap into New Eden. It's fair to say that we haven't always given it the love it deserves. But despite that, you've actually managed to build some incredible things on the ESI. See Killboards, Dotlan, PyFa, Fuzzwork, Rift. These are some of the tools that I use on daily basis or weekly basis. All tools built by superhero capsuleers on the ESI. And then we released the Excel add-in, and that changed everything. It didn't just democratize external access to EVE, it forced us in understanding what it means to build for third-party development. It wasn't nice. And that was actually a turning point, and that's why we're putting way more focus on ESI from now and forward. So, at the core, the ESI is the lifeline beyond the EVE client. That's the mission. It's how EVE connects to everything you built around it, from Intel tools, to Killboards, to Corp management, to amazing maps, and more. But what kind of a lifeline do we want it to be? Well, the vision is simple. Trusted, stable, and agile. ESI deserves the same reliability as the rest of New Eden. Something you can depend on, something that gets better over time, and that's what we're committing to. We've always prided ourselves on making EVE one of the most beautiful games out there. And not once, but again and again. We've reworked visuals, updated tech, pushed the boundaries of what's possible. Because staying beautiful isn't about chasing trends. It's about keeping New Eden alive, current, and worthy of the stories that you write in it. And that's not slowing down anytime soon.
Recently, we released a major overhaul to our graphics engine, Trinity. This update unlocked more performance from your graphics card, delivering a smoother, more responsive experience in space, with higher frame rates and improved visual fidelity. This is just one step in the journey to ensuring that the foundations of EVE are ready for the next decade of breathtaking visuals that our artists will bring to life. We're already taking advantage of this upgrade and have started working on a complete renovation of our fog system. This enables stunning new lighting effects, truly enhancing the sense of depth and mystery of space. We're also adding ray trace shadows to EVE, with the results looking amazing. They deliver the most realistic shadow rendering we've ever seen. They support more light sources, eliminate artifacts, and pave the way for even more advanced ray tracing features in the future. And to ensure the best possible performance, we'll be introducing upscaling this year. With support for all major graphics cards, you'll be able to boost your graphics card performance with just a few clicks. Carbon continues to evolve, and alongside our talented artists, we remain committed to delivering even more stunning visuals for EVEOnline.
With Carbon, we are upgrading our lighting module for EVEOnline. The first step we're taking is integrating high dynamic range cube maps. The nebulas have always played a key role in shaping the visual identity of EVE. This graphic update, scheduled later this year, will take things to the next level, bringing more realistic lighting, a wider dynamic range, richer colors, and finer details across all lighting conditions. Scenes will feel more alive, with a stronger sense of energy coming from the light sources, creating a more dramatic and immersive experience. Every ship we create is a work of art. We pour our heart and soul into every design. Modernizing your ship fleet is always on our mind. Now we are creating bigger, more impactful packages than ever before. All cruisers are getting a lighting and VFX upgrade, and we're also introducing dramatic new damage visualization on all ships, with the addition of particle, fire, and smoke effects when a ship reaches hull damage, bringing a whole new level to the intensity of combat. In the Legion expansion, we've also redesigned 5 Tech 1 cruisers and all their variants, 13 new ships in total. These hulls now have a sleek, modern design, higher model and texture quality, designed weapon platforms, animation states, VFX enhancements, and a balance pass. Pushing visual boundaries of EVE is always at the forefront in art. These are some pretty big, epic milestones in our ongoing modernization journey. We look forward to continuing this work and bring you more cool stuff in the future.
Awesome. The last 6 months have been quite the saga. In Revenant, you uncovered the origins of the Deathless through a series of recovered journal entries. Yosef Okada was a brilliant but reckless archaeologist whose obsession with lost Jovian secrets led him to Zarzak to integrate with the Fulcrum and become the pirate lord you know him as today. The Deathless hungers for history's secrets. One of those secrets, an ancient Jove artifact, was hidden right under his nose, and it was revealed when the drifters attacked Zarzak, which you all answered the call and aided in defending. The Warden unveiled new technologies such as breacher clones, mercenary dens, the Cenotaph, and Tholos, which has changed the face of warfare forever. But then the drifters retaliated in New Eden, and you allied with your favorite faction. The top 5 claimed a stake in the secrets of the drifter hives. With the final days of Revenant approaching, what will be the fate of the drifter wormholes? What could the technology within reveal? What is the Deathless's ultimate plan, and why is he so interested in Jovian tech? Following war comes a time of rebuilding. But one thing is for certain: the Deathless saga is far from over. Now, the journey from Equinox to here has been a long and challenging one. Thank you for all of your patience and feedback, genuinely. Our goal is to empower you to have the flexibility and customization to build the nullsec empire of your dreams. I fully believe that we have built the skeleton of an expansive and scalable system that we can develop on top of for years to come. Equinox introduced a base set of sovereignty upgrades, including T1 and T2 mining and ratting sites. And in Revenant, we saw the addition of mercenary dens and MTOs for our dedicated pirate enthusiasts. We've watched you shape your systems, pull off some of the biggest logistical maneuvers in EVE's history, and plan and adapt to the new rules of the universe. It's been awesome. And there's more in EVE Legion. Here is CCP K1 P1. Let's go.
In the Equinox expansion, we introduced a new sovereignty system, and that was just the beginning. Now, we are able to build on this framework and iterate. We want to give your corporations more customization options in your space setup, and part of that includes adding 3 new categories of sovereignty upgrades. First, we are giving you upgrades that let you generate new colony resources by utilizing existing ones, allowing your corporations to have even more flexibility. We are also adding new upgrades that apply new effects to ships within your system, giving you new tools to redefine your area of space. For example, you could install a gamma effect to benefit your shield doctrines or a plasma effect for your armor comp. Finally, in Legion, we will be adding back an improved version of the exploration upgrades that spawn data and relic sites, complete with new dungeon distribution mechanics that will affect the spawn rate of these sites for several systems instead of just one. We also recognize those of you who fight to take over space and conquer systems, but end up with an extensive logistical laundry list that involves nuking all of the existing and perfectly good skyhooks owned by your enemies, and then having to rebuild all of them for the good of your corp. Who has time for that? We get it. You're tired after your day of conquest. So to help you out, we are adding the ability for you and your corp to immediately capture existing skyhooks and make them your own for a fraction of the cost. So keep fighting the good fight. Conquer space, make it your own, and keep the war effort going.
Yeah, thank you, CCP K1P1. Ooh. March 12th was our second official major update. And as CCP Rattati said earlier, this is a part of our ongoing strategy from here on out, where you can expect a major update in between each expansion. We'll tend to the game's meta and introduce new content, quality of life updates, and more. These major updates let the dust settle from an expansion and give us time to hear your feedback and adjust to that. For March 12th, we knew that mining needed some love. So we added the Tier 3 mining sites, we adjusted Tier 1 and Tier 2 sites, but we also had a ton of changes to the balance of ships. We made capital ships cheaper. We also added a bunch of UI and UX improvements, as well as taking a small stab at force projection. And I hope that you're feeling the impact of those changes. All of this was led with the help of CSM 19. So I just want to say thank you so much, CSM. It's been wonderful working with all of you. But even with our major updates, we'll still be pushing for exciting balance updates and quality of life changes in every expansion. We're actively working on a balance pass, for example, building a clearer capital ship escalation pass to better capital and super capital fights. And as Revenant wraps, you're already experiencing some of our new content with the Drifter Labyrinth, which you'll soon see an escalation in our upcoming Drifter Crisis Wrath of Tyrannos event. But how could any expansion be complete without a new ship? Yeah. The Baba Roga. For Capsuleers of a triangular persuasion, you'll be getting access to the Baba Roga, the new Triglavian Marauder. Based on a modified Leshak hull, the Baba Roga combines Triglavian entropic disintegrators with the features you know and love from other Marauders, such as improved defenses, reduced micro jump drive reactivation delays, and most importantly, the ability to use the Bastion module. But wait. There's more. Hell yeah! I heard that some of you like dreads. Who likes dreads? Ever since you got your first glimpse of concept art for an Angel Cartel line of capital ships all the way back at EVE Down Under in 2017, you have been asking for the chance to fly one of these gorgeous ships. The Azerial Titan released in the Havoc expansion was a huge success. And now the Angels are back with a new pirate faction capital ship, the Sarathiel-class Dreadnought. The Sarathiel has the big bonuses to capital projectile damage and fall-off that you would expect from an Angel Dreadnought. And appropriately, for the cartel's focus on mobility, it has the unique ability to use capital micro jump drives, even while it's sieged. Yeah. That's just a glimpse of what's to come. We're going to dive deep and dig way deeper tomorrow in the EVE Legion keynote. Thanks so much, everyone, and I hope to see you there. Now, back to CCP Ritati.
Thank you, Okami. So coming back to this, without new players, there's no forever. But yes, you've heard, freelancing is the key. New players need your help, and the solution is coming from within. Please use this tool to engage with new players and reactivate lapsed players by creating goals for them. Purposeful goals for them. Embrace them, nurture them, and help them grow to their full potential. Strong organizations allow the community to recruit, train, and motivate lapsed players by giving them purpose, clear goals, ways to collaborate, more agency, and things to do. This leads to a deeper sense of belonging. But viewing this expansion through this lens is important. But freelance jobs are a huge milestone coming in EVE Legion. It's a culmination of now 3 years of expansions, even if it's just a little box on this slide. It literally could not be done earlier, nor differently, because it's a fundamentally incredible innovation from a tech perspective as well as a design perspective. Player-made missions. That's why we're not fixing career agents, because we're 100% sure that you will do a better job. Over to fulfilling our ultimate science fiction and a new experience to attract a new audience into New Eden. Please welcome CCP Collins to the stage to tell us everything about our ultra-ambitious MMO, FPS, Vanguard.
Thank you. Wow. Hello. All the way at the top as well. Can I hear you? Awesome. Hello. God, this is so exciting. Oh, my word. Okay, I am CCP Collins. I'm the game director on Vanguard, and I am fucking excited to be here. This is awesome. So, a year and a half ago, we announced EVE Vanguard to the world at EVE Fanfest 2023. Who was there? Awesome. We braved doing a live on-stage gameplay demo. That was quite a scary thing to do, but we managed to pull it off. But it's been an incredible year and a half from all of the playtests and events that we've run, the community that has been built up, and the reams and reams and reams of feedback that we've trawled through from our community channels. The game wouldn't be where it is now if it wasn't for you, the community. Such features as mining, adaptive weaponry, and manufacturing would not be there without your feedback. So I just want to start this presentation by just saying a big thank you to anyone who's already played Vanguard. Thank you. And to all of you that are maybe cautious and curious of Vanguard, I'm hoping what you can see this weekend will get you excited about the future to come for the game. What we're building is a massively multiplayer online first-person shooter, a true MMO FPS, not just a big FPS. There's a single mode or a lobby game with a lot of people in it. We're building a first-person shooter as a foundation for a more persistent, social, and player-driven experience. But really, what does that mean, right? We're using New Eden as that platform, as a single experience in a single universe with all players. Whether you are a capsuleer in space in New Eden or a devil in the dirt in Vanguard with a gun in your hand, your power, your wealth, your progression, your equipment, your social connections, your impact, and the reputation you carry, fully persistent across that same universe that does not reset. Now, building this is really fucking cool, but honestly, building this is also really fucking hard. We are a tight team working on this game, and we're building it in the same ethos that has allowed EVEOnline to exist and thrive 20+ years on. We're building this carefully, we're building this steadily, with the components in the right order, and openly with you, the players. So, we've been in pre-alpha now for a year and a half, but we're ready to take that next step. We are really thrilled to announce that Vanguard will be launching into early access on Steam and directly through the EVE launcher in summer 2026. We'll be announcing more details close to the time what that is, but what that will mean is Vanguard live and accessible 24/7. You will be able to, if you can't wait that long, you will be able to play Vanguard, as Hilma said earlier before, in September this year, which is roughly halfway between now and early access, where you'll be able to play the game, see the experience that we're building, and give us that crucial feedback we need before we make that leap. And that early access experience is really important because it's about bridging that gap, bridging Vanguard into New Eden. That universe populated with insurgencies being fought in both spaceships and with gun in hand. Mercenary dens next to skyhook infrastructure as a tether between the economies of planets and space. And from early access, we're about to start populating the planet with Vanguard bastions. Now, what is a Vanguard bastion, I hear you say? Well, you're going to have to come along to the Vanguard keynote tomorrow, aren't you? Happening right here on stage at 11 a.m. UTC and going out live on Twitch as well. But don't worry, I haven't come empty-handed. I wanted to tease some of the content that we've got and hopefully get you along to that keynote that's happening tomorrow, including the first reveal of that new generation of war clone suits that you'll be deploying in as the Vanguard. Lots of oohs and ahs, thank you. This is the smallest of the Vanguard suits that you'll be deploying in that will come in all different shapes and sizes, depending on your playstyle requirements. This is a suit developed for adaptability, decision-making in the heat of conflict, and is a suit that you will eventually be able to customize, striking fear in your enemies and anyone stupid enough to get in your way. But you're going to need a little more to get the job done. You're going to need some more weapons. So who wants to see some weapons? All right, good. I brought with me some footage, some early prototypes that we've been building, exploring archetypes of a pistol, a shotgun, and a rifle. Well, let's just watch and hear the video, and I'll see what you think afterwards. right, what do people think? Yeah. For Vanguard, we're designing weapons moving away from a lot of the militaristic stylings that a lot of modern shooters are leaning on these days, and instead looking to the golden era of shooters, the late 90s and early 2000s, your Quakes, your Halos, your Unreal Tournaments. Any fans in the house? Where weapons are fun, wholly unique, and are worthy of a future 21,000 years in the future. But we've got a lot more that we'd like to cover at the Vanguard keynote tomorrow, including those bastions, a narrative and player journey that we're building into the game, NPCs and commissions, your own personal war barge, new worlds, Mordu's Legion, well, you can call it the war barge if you want, it's yours. Mordu's Legion, more weapons, and even more going into the experience from proximity chat, weapon manufacturing, drop pod insertion, faction variant weapons, squad reviving and down but not out, a banking drone, and even more. You can play the game in September this year, on 16th of September 2025. But if you are here at Fanfest this weekend, we've got builds to come and play. Come and play our generally semi-broken build. We're not going to hide behind some polished E3 style build. We've just pulled a build from latest. We've brought it with us today. Come and play it. It's got more weapons and more bugs than any Vanguard experience you've played before. Thank you. But my time is up. I'm going to hand back to Ratati in a second. I just want to say a big thank you for letting me take the stage today. And from myself and everyone on the Vanguard team, we'll see you on the battlefield. Thank you.
Thank you. So, thank you, CCP Collins, and the huge number of EVE players that are enthusiastic about a shooter in New Eden, as well as all the dust bunnies out there. Ooh. But I have to say, team-based insurgency game mode with planetary cannons firing at our combined MCCs, Mordu's Legion subcapitals flying above, and upwell haulers levitating, is the closest thing to Dust 514 that I have ever seen and felt. It is absolutely becoming Dust's spiritual successor. And not only that, we have things we only dreamt of in the Dust 514 era. NPCs, PvE, resource gathering, manufacturing, customizable weapons, and more and more. So this is truly becoming what we wanted Dust 514 to be. But over to a little bit thinking ahead. We've covered the expansion at a very high level, but we really want to also start introducing, in the spirit of honesty and trust, to the themes that we want to expand on after the expansion. These are large themes that need to be kind of broached with the CSM and honed with the teams once we launch EVE Legion, but that's all part of the process. But we do want one thing. We want capitals in space, and we want real counterplay. The first step was to make them cheaper with insurance and cost changes. The next step will be to make them even more survivable. But the ecosystem needs to be grounded in a healthy and vibrant sub-capital meta, and we will not return to the oppressive gameplay of the past. We will bring capitals into viable escalation paths, going from T1 battleships that now should be in a great spot, 200, 220, 40 million, which is great, and to T2 Marauders. And then from T1 Dreadnoughts to T2 Dreadnoughts, and then logically into Faxes, Carriers, and Supers. We will then keep a close eye on Titans, their application, cost, overall viability, as well as new counters. But it's just a part of the solution to increase destruction. We want to give players brand new weapons of war, and we want to iterate and improve some of the existing issues. We've long talked about tether, skynetting, and timers. We're not going to do drastic changes, but focus on trimming and adding new tools. What is the E version of a siege tower? Catapult, reducing enemy workforce to gain an advantage, or covert ops deployables, messing with communications. We need your thoughts and ideas in the roundtables and in the halls. But we also want to incentivize players to undock for lucrative rewards. But I think I can speak for everyone in the room. War Engine sounds pretty self-explanatory, but what the hell is Gold Rush?
Our slide's not moving.
Oh, maybe it's mine. Do you want my clicker?
Amazing.
Oh, you're good.
All right. I guess a video was supposed to play, and it didn't play, but let's try that one more time. Play video. Who doesn't love? Okay. It's here. So with the incredible tools coming out in EVE Legion, we're getting to a place where we can start taking on the next chapter in reworking ownership and conflict in New Eden. Let's be honest. Every Titan that undocks, every doctrine in the fleet, and every structure that holds the front line, none of it would exist without someone digging in the dirt. Industry runs on resource gathering. War doesn't just belong to the soldiers. It's won by the builders, the planners, and the quiet workhorses that stitch the boots. Resource gathering is the cornerstone of New Eden. And if we want to solve war and the economy to truly evolve, this is where we begin. Because the future of power isn't who shoots first. It's about who owns the ground beneath their feet. Right now, asteroid belts appear in the same place, at the same time, with the same ore, every single day. There is little variation, there is little control. And there's a very little reason for players or groups to strategically think about when and how they mine. And not only to pick on asteroid belts and mining, salvaging is something that most of you just ignore. That sucks. I agree with you. Resource gathering is passive. Progression is flat. And worst of all, it's a poor conflict driver. But in EVE, everything should be worth fighting over. So we're going to change that. Not just with a tweak, but with a new philosophy. It's all about pioneering. A battlefield after a massive fleet fight should be a gold mine. And a comet entering a system should trigger a gold rush. All right, that was a bit late, but super cool videos of concept. Freelance goals, better map, and a sub-hub, and a stronger ESI play a major part in unlocking this future.
And as you can see, EVE Legion is jam-packed with these high-level features that you will find more about in the EVE Legion keynote tomorrow, panels and roundtables, or simply just by cornering an innocent dev in the hallways.
EVE Legion continues our promise of giving you more control of your experience. EVE Legion is not a stepping stone, but a major leap forward, strengthening organization and ownership of space.
And we honestly can't wait to see what you do with all this new sand in your sandbox. But we will be there with you, all the way. The future is bright, and together we can achieve anything.
So, are you ready for a trailer? Yeah. I said, are you ready for a trailer? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What if I made you a promise? That in the face of adversity, destruction, I could offer unity. purpose of one would be the power of many. Wielding every strength of the collective towards a unified vision and constructing a future. Where your every action fuels our momentum. And that vision becomes reality. Out here, borders and loyalties are dissolved and reshaped. Ambition, arrogance, and aggression collide. But we stand undaunted. Our legion unbreakable.
How excited are we for Eve Legion? Sarathiel. Damn, that sounds cool. From Sydney to Fanfest in Harpa in 8 years. Damn, these angels have been busy. It's a very big ship to build. But we are here for this. And as you've seen here, we've already shown a lot, but there are keynotes for Legion, there are keynotes for Vanguard, and there are keynotes for Frontier, along with all the amazing content we have here on show. But this is all underpinning this amazing idea of Eve forever. And we are going to continue to manifest this into existence. So when I say Eve, you say forever. Eve! Forever! Eve! Forever! Eve! Forever! Thank you, and have a great Fanfest. You want the trailer again? Is that what you want? You want it again? No, do you really want it again? Again, really, again? Okay, let's roll the trailer again.
What if I made you a promise? That in the face of adversity, destruction, I could offer unity, an alliance. Where the purpose of one would be the power of many. Wielding every strength of the collective towards a unified vision and constructing a future. Where your every action fuels our momentum. And that vision becomes reality. aggression collide. But we stand undaunted, our legion unbreakable.